take you on a journey through the next vision.
The next vision defines the on-ground travel journey of the future. It outlines how infrastructure, processes, and ways of doing business will need to evolve to meet growing passenger demand and customer expectations, and how new technology, interactive decision-making, advanced processing, and moving activities off airport will bring the next vision to life.
Data will link everything together for all aspects of the journey.
AIDM and ACRIS together provide an agreed dictionary for industry vocabulary, data definitions, and their relationships. This helps the industry speak the same language and work together.
There are many stakeholders involved in air travel. Communication between everyone is essential for all involved in travel. Common data models allow information to flow and be more easily understood between stakeholders and with customers across all journey touchpoints. Using commonly agreed data models also allows airlines and airports to innovate faster and switch to new technologies more easily.
First, let's look at the way cargo handling will be transformed.
Interactive cargo will make cargo talk. Intelligent systems will self-monitor, send real-time alerts, and respond to changes in handling conditions.
Imagine you miss a connection during a business trip. Immediately you can rearrange your trip, no problem. Now imagine the same could be done with air cargo, interacting directly with cargo and managing as it moves along the supply chain. That's interactive cargo, meeting today's customers' expectations for more transparency, visibility, and predictability. This is important to capitalize on the growth of e-commerce and address regulators' demands in the areas of pharmaceuticals and perishables.
One record will allow all stakeholders in the air cargo supply chain to directly access the shipment data they require, all from a digital ecosystem.
Did you know that for one air cargo shipment, electronic air cargo data is exchanged multiple times between stakeholders of the supply chain? Data quality issues such as duplication, inaccuracy, and inconsistency mean that paper documents are still considered a better alternative by some. But today, this is neither efficient nor suitable. The One Record initiative allows everybody involved in the transport and logistics supply chain to access cargo data directly, easily, and transparently.
The cargo facility of the future project will define what the modern warehouse facility will look like in the future, and also how it will be used.
The air cargo business is undergoing a seismic shift. Letters are becoming rarer and parcels more numerous. Business models, architectural and process designs, as well as technologies must all change to ensure long-term sustainability. The Cargo Facility of the Future project will develop a facility for the future where man and machine can work in harmony to offer both greater productivity and superior customer service. It will be safe, secure, green, automated, connected, smart, and fit for purpose in its size, location, and for the people who use it. For example, in Hong Kong, Hactl Super Terminal 1, with its ongoing facility investments, and Fraport and Swissport's facility in Germany are embracing this vision for the future.
Now let's see what happens before we get to the airport.
In the future, many processes will occur off-airport in a location that best suits the customer Traveling with a bag will be convenient and hassle-free. Your bag will be tracked throughout its journey. Cross-industry baggage tracking has already been agreed on by airlines. Every bag will be tracked to reduce mishandled luggage and increase efficiency in baggage operations.
Passengers want to track their bags throughout the entire journey. Airlines and airports are facilitating this by implementing tracking at major journey points, such as loading and unloading. And the industry is committed to the global deployment of radio frequency identification, RFID, for baggage tracking. We aim to make RFID the industry reality within the next 4 years for most passenger journeys. Implementation has seen some good progress, especially in China, where the technology has been thoroughly embraced. In Europe, several airlines and airports are successfully working together to introduce RFID, notably Air France at Paris Charles de Gaulle.
One ID will enable passengers to travel document-free using biometric recognition. One order will result in the gradual disappearance of PNRs, e-tickets and electronic miscellaneous documents. One single customer order record will hold all the data elements obtained and required for product fulfillment across the air travel journey.
And finally, this will all lead to an enhanced airport experience.
In the future, passengers will enjoy a highly personalized journey that is seamless, secure and efficient. Using digital identity simplifies the experience. Passengers will be offered personalized options on the ground and in flight. Airport Collaborative Decision-Making, or ACDM, will improve the efficiency of the aircraft turnaround process and flight predictability. This will be done through real-time data sharing between airport partners, and all of this will reduce airport delays.
Managing an aircraft turnaround is a bit like conducting an orchestra. You need effective coordination across all your stakeholders. And with that better coordination, we can deliver more on-time departures for passengers. This means there's fewer costly delays for airlines, and that reduces the taxiing that the aircraft has to make through to the runway. This also means that there's more predictability in the overall network, and therefore the airport can make better use of their existing infrastructure. We're working with bodies such as IATA and Eurocontrol, CANSO and ACI, and the pace of ACDM implementation is accelerating gradually, globally even. We currently have 28 implementations in Europe, 20 in Asia Pacific, and with many others in the pipeline, we soon will exceed over 120 globally.
Ramp of the Future will accelerate the modernization of ground operation processes.
There is a need to increase safety and security, to become more efficient, and to reduce the number of incidents and injuries that happen on the ground. This is the goal of our Ramp of the Future project. A connected, automated ramp will help reduce delays and aircraft damage caused by ground handling, and increase capacity by accelerating the modernisation of ground operations processes. We are working with many partners, such as airlines, system providers, aircraft and ground support equipment manufacturers, and airports, to make this vision a reality.
Smart security will use standoff technologies and data-driven processes to provide walkthrough, seamless and efficient security for passengers and their baggage throughout their journey.
Smart security is an initiative advanced by ACI World. Providing passengers with a hassle-free walk-through experiences replaces the current security checkpoint that stops to a gateway that facilitates. In making this project happen, there is work being done with government entities, airports, airlines, and bringing in solution providers to introduce new technologies.
Travel communications will enable multiple industry stakeholders to communicate with passengers across all touchpoints of their journey with up-to-date and accurate information that is provided through a trusted source.
Passengers expect to be notified and play an active role in selecting the most convenient solutions, particularly when disruptions and delays occur. Our travel communication project is developing standard APIs that allow airlines and other providers of travel services to communicate with passengers across all touchpoints of their journey with up-to-date and accurate information through a trusted source. Air France-KLM and Lufthansa Group were the first to implement an IATA-certified API that supports the first use cases of the travel communication project by providing customer flight information, flight status.
Introduce you to a whole collection of projects. Well, actually, our next vision brings all those projects together. The vision isn't one thing that's going to be implemented by one date. Each of these projects have their own benefits and their own business cases, but bringing them together, we can increase the benefits of each project by strengthening the links and making sure we're accounting for those things that link those projects. The technology and the processes are advancing all the time. We can see across these projects, we often see that it's not actually the technology that's the challenge. It's the issues around privacy, data ownership, data standards, and the regulations that prevent us from achieving some of the things we wish to do. So these are equally important areas for us to focus on. This does rely on us adopting a common language and approach to ensure that we are interoperable and scalable with the solutions that we're presenting. The overriding theme is collaboration. Industry can't achieve our vision alone. We do need government support to create the right regulatory environment so that we can fully transform. Through our partners in the aviation value chain, they use NEXT to see how their role in our industry's digital revolution. To be clear though, industry will need to build. We will need to invest in infrastructure. Accommodating growth by building bigger and bigger airports will become increasingly difficult technically, and also is facing public policy perception and challenges, shall we say. This means we do need to be more efficient and less polluting. The next vision promotes doing more with the infrastructure we already have. We advocate to invest in technologies and processes combined with the digital infrastructure which enables us to better use those facilities we already have by making better decisions. This shifts the mindset in airport investors that it's not always necessary to build more terminals, more concrete areas and more runways. Through our partnerships with those airports, airlines and others, we're demonstrating the impact of using alternative options. So I'd now like to invite my colleagues back to join us. So we've got Marie Massery, who's our industry architect. Hank Mulder does digital cargo, along with Brendan Sullivan in e-commerce and cargo's operations. Andrew Price is our baggage expert, and Amandine is our project manager for OneID. And we're very happy to answer any questions you have on any of our projects or the overall vision. Any questions? All clear? My usual form, stunned silence.
I'd just like to know if you look at the next journey and the new world, you will produce giant amount of data. So who's going to store the data, and whoever it is, when are they going to sell it to Amazon? Thank you.
So there are many different solutions being developed around how data needs to be stored and how it will be shared. Common perception at the moment is that there is a distributed model for that, and that there isn't one single source that is some gigantic warehouse that has all the data that's needed, because as you quite rightly mentioned, we're talking about vast amounts of data. So distributed model. So therefore Amazon can't just buy it.
Just allow me one follow-up then, please. Are you talking about decentralized storage, or what are you talking about?
For many aspects, it will be decentralized storage. There might be cases, particularly I would imagine around collaborative decision making, where you might want a common hub that people are feeding into. But we have our projects that are looking at how the protocols of how that information is shared, the format, such that you can allow for distributed models. I don't know if Marie has anything else to add on that.
Yeah, maybe if I can add on that, I think if you look, and it's not just airlines, generally speaking, there is a movement to not just distribute it because someone stores it, but distribute it in a sense, the people who are genuine sources of the information are the ones who are most likely to have it and control the sharing of it. And yes, you need to work on kind of technology options, but I see this is where it is going, that also the airlines and other stakeholders in the industry, they are looking at options how they could, really just share the relevant data without necessarily storing it at some point to a third party.
Any final questions?
Hello, it's Jordan Chong from Australian Aviation. I'm just wondering whether you could offer any thoughts about the ownership of the data that's been created or managed or stored or used. What is the kind of discussion or thoughts around that, please?
Okay. Let me try to follow on the thoughts that I had earlier and give you some examples. If you, as a passenger, have some information that concerns you, information about your identity, information about your preferences, where things are going, it is going to be you who is going to be not only managing the distribution of it, but also it's going to be you who is going to be responsible for storing it and taking good care of it. Because at the end of the day, to run a business, everyone needs a certain amount of data, but today we keep sending to each other data that actually we might not necessarily need for running of the business. And there is a growing realization that there is no need to store that data that I don't need for the business. So that would be one trend. The other one that we also see is that, related to it, that sometimes the sender might actually prepare and package the information in a form that the recipient needs it, rather than just give him everything and sort out what you need out of it. So there are changing patterns of data exchanges, and with this goes also much more granularity in the data exchange, because historically what we used to do, and it's not just airlines, we would take a big package of data and throw it on someone else. You figure out and do what you need with it. And today, it's much more like a question, what would you do with it? Oh, if you need it for this purpose, here is the right piece of information. That's where things go.
Okay.